In the name of Allah. So, in continuous to our last session, we will finish the forms. Now we are coming to advanced PHP. First thing, PHP date functions. PHP date function. So, what's PHP date? The PHP date function is used to format a date and or a time. PHP date function is used to format date and time. So we have a date function with lowercase. The PHP date function formats a timestamp to a more readable date and time. So you have seen some websites, they show 5 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. That comes from PHP date functions. We format them. Syntax is simply date in format and timestamp. Which timestamp you want format? The format parameter required specifies the format of timestamp, and timestamp is optional. The second one is optional. Optional specified timestamp default is the current date and time. At timestamps a sequence of characters denoting the date or time and which a certain event occurred. So timestamps a date and time combination. Date is only date, but timestamp contains date, time, and also the seconds, minutes, and AM and PM also. You can use the timestamp on that time. So generally simple. So how we can get a time? How we can get a date or a time? The required format parameter of date function is how to format the date or time. Here are some characters that commonly used for dates. We have some characters. D represents the day of the month from 1 to 31. When you passing the D, it means you are passing the day. When you are passing the M, it means representing a month. Y represents the year and 4 digits. If you are using Y in uppercase, it means you are using the 4 digits. And we have L in lowercase. L represents the day of the week. Day of the week. We have 4 characters denoting some special meanings. A D for day, M for month, Y for year, and L for day of the week. We use them in our PHP date function as a parameter of so. Other characters like the slashes, dot, or dash can also be inserted between the characters to add additional formatting. For better readability, you can use the slashes, dot, or dashes for separating days, month, and year. You can use this one. So let's see this example. Today's date, MYD. First year, second month, the third day. The another day, today is M.YD. That's formatting, you can use this one. And you can use the L for showing the day of the week. So how we can work them? Just simply head up to your code. I think I need to open another project. Oh, save this. Open folder. If your project is not open in here, you can use the open folder to open your project. Head up to XAMPP, htdocs, then your project folder, just like that. It will open your project. So in here we have a test form.php where we checked for dates. Now we need to display our date. We need to display our date. Simply let's copy this one instead of writing and consuming lots of time. Just simply copy this one. Now it will show us 3 different format of dates and also the day of the week. Simply now go head up to your project test form and just wait. Now it says today's 2024 1021. Today's 1024 dot and you can use slashes, dots, and others to separate these months. And also, if you want to see the day and the month in Texas, you can also format this, or you can use the this format YYY, MM, and DD for seeing the full format. For seeing the full format. This is all free. Now we have, oh, this one doesn't support, I think, but actually we can do this. So There's some problem. So, and also you can replace this one. Instead of this, you can write this and like this. Man, yeah, it's up to you which format you want to use. Which format you want to use. And also PHP tip automatic copyright here. If you want to show a copyright, if you see in here we have a copyright 2014-21, it mean LT, all right reserved. If you want to add this one, simply just use the HTML special character copy with the year and also the date. You can achieve this with JavaScript and also with PHP. In here we have used the JavaScript one, but it's a raw data. It's a raw data. Just write the copy and then your error. At the end, if you want to show like this, you can do just this and copy adds a copyright mark. A C inside that circle. It's a special character of HTML that adds a copyright one. So now, oh, I inserted this inside a PHP tag. It must be outside of PHP because we have another PHP itself. So now it says copyright 2010-2014 today's this date. Why today's this is because we have this one here. Simply you can do the copyright using the add copy. This part is for HTML and this part is source for our PHP. Simply. You can also get time. You can also get the time. But for time we have different characters. For time we have different characters. You have your phones back. You're seen in Ayat. And yeah. Who said you grab the phones or pick up the phones? Your phone should be here, not with yourselves. So for time, we have different characters. First, H in uppercase. If you want to show a time in 24 hours format, you can use the uppercase ones. If you are showing in 12 hours format, then use the lower cases. The upper cases is 24-hour format of an hour, 0 to 23. The lower cases 20 the 12-hour format from 0 to 12. And the I shows the minutes, S shows the seconds, and A shows the ant meridian or post meridian, AM or PM. Anti-meridian and post meridians. So how we can use? You can use this in your time. So you can use the date here again. Just let me copy this section to add a break line. So now echo time is then your time dot date and instead of dates put the times H I and S and A like this simply. It will take your format and display your time 0 7 41. So it's now another question here shows us the time of UTC, not our time, not our local time. How you can change this one? That's good that we face this problem. You can change this with your PHP time zone. Head up to your XOMP and your Apache on config apache3.conf and search for time zone. Time zone. Search for time zone. Oh, we don't have time zone here. Let's find it. What's the variable for time? So UTC. You need to find this one. So let's open the php.ini and search from here. It wasn't on xomp.config, then you need to find here the time. Now we have time. Let's see time, maximum of time of each script, execution time, max input time. So let's find time zone. So date time zone. Let me find this one. So we have defined the full time zone used by date time function. Time zone we have nothing of value but it's commented. Let's go ahead. And now we have date time zone Europe Berlin. It shows our time zone as according to Berlin. Now in here you need to write Asia and Kabul. Asia, Kabul. Let's see if now we need to stop your server and start it again. Now refresh. Let's see. Now it is 10, 13 and 41. So you can change that using the config and PHP configuration and just search for time zone and find the time zone that where is not commented. This semicolon here shows that it's commented. It's not readable, but find the time zone that's not commented and change the value. Come here and now if you see date dot time zone, it's commented, it's not important, but in second one we have date dot time zone equal to Asia global. You can set any country if you want. If you want a global time zone UTC, you can set a UTC or Europe London for better. So we are in Kabul, so we use Asia Kabul. Our time zone is plus 4 and 13. 4:13. So now it's 10:13, 41 a.m. in Afghanistan. So note that PHP date function will return the current date time of the server. So it's not returning our time zone. It's returning the server time zone. Our server time zone must be configured correctly. So you can save this. And also if you are working on a project and you are inserting some records for your client, set the PHP time zone correctly and then insert. Why? Because when they are generating the cars, they will face problems. When they are generating the cars, they will face problems. Why? Because the times of insertions, time of deletions are different than the time of their PC or than the actual time they are live. Get your time zone. If the time you get back from the code is not correct, it's probably because your server is in another country or set up for a different time zone. So how you can get your time zone? So if you need the time to be correct according to a specific location, you can set time zone you want to use. How and also you can set the time zone in your PHP also. How? Set the default time zone set America, New York. You can set using the PHP function that says date default time zone. Default time zone. You can set you can come here and set the default time zone. Set date default time zone. Gate, we have one gate and another we have set. If you set this one and echo this one, echo, it will print as the time zone. This time zone, default time zone is Asia Kabul. Asia Kabul. But if you want to set, then we don't need to echo this. We just set time zone. We just set time zone to something else. It requires us a time zone ID. We have a time zone ID. Like let's change to Europe, like Istanbul. To Istanbul. Now refresh. Now the time is 8:46. But if we are in Afghanistan, choose to Asia, Kabul. Or your client is in Pakistan, use Asia, Pakistan. Or Islamabad, not Pakistan. Asia, Islamabad. Always use the capital of the country, not the country itself. Use the capital city of that country. So, create a date with mk time. Mk time is also a function. Also a function. But what it does returns as a Unix timestamp. It does returns as a Unix timestamp says the optional timestamp parameter in date function specifies a timestamp. If omitted, the current date and time will be used as in the examples above, as we use it and saw the examples. But the PHP mktime function returns the Unix timestamp for a date. The Unix timestamp contains the number of seconds between the Unix epoch January 1, 1997 and the time specified. So what it means? It means that the starting date for the Unix is the January 1, 1970 with 00 GMT. GMT means Greenwich Time Zone, or the UTC is plus 0. UTC 0 time zone. So the syntax says MK time, hour, minute, second, month, day, and year. You can get this one. So the example below creates a date with the date function from a number of parameters in MK times. So how? So actually you are receiving a we are receiving a date function, but we are also passing a timestamp according to this one. According to this one. So we are in month, in hour, L1, minute 14, second 54, and second that month 8, day 12, and year 2014. So how we can use this one? Why we should use this one? Sometimes we need to display a specific time zone. We need to display a specific time and also display the difference between two times. The difference between two times. So let's copy this one and paste for better time management. That's why I copy. Oh, I need to this outside of this one. Oh, so now let's see what happens. Now it says created date is 2014, 8, 12, and this minute. So what happened here? It shows us the date according to our timestamp. According to our timestamp, you can change this one to anything that you want. So that was some problem with our code. Let me do some break lines. Break lines. So now, why it's problem here? Oh, this one is not required. Good. Now, if she created date as 2014, 8, 12, and this time. So how you can achieve your own? So sometimes you need to display the time you have created the website, the time you have created a system, a database. You can use the MK time and it will display the time according the time you have displayed. And instead of the variable, you can also assign here. You can also assign here with strings, but inside the variable is better. Inside the variable, it's better. So what it requires for us? How requires minute, second, month, day, and year. This is the MK time. So, and also you can create a date from a string with str to time. Str to time. Define PHP str time use functions to convert a human readable date string to a Unix timestamp. The number of seconds since January 1, 1970 GMT. So generally Unix timestamp is like this January 1, 1970 and this format. This is a format. So how we can do? You can do this to your time, the time and now. Change the time to now. So how? Let's see. We have a start time 10:13 p.m. April 15, 2014 and then echo that function. So it will display as something. It will change a text into date. It will change a text into date. Sometimes we need this. Sometimes too we need to change some characters, or we have a form. People insert some date. Not they are not choosing a date. So for date we have a date picker. Let me display in this one, and instead of the one of our inputs we have a name. We can use the date. If you see now our name change it to a date picker. If you click on date picker, you can choose a date. You can choose a date with different years. If you see, we have lots of years here. If you go, you can check. But sometimes the user inserts date like this. 10, 12, and 24. Like this. Not inserting from this one. Not inserting from this one. So it is a text, not a date. This one is a text input. When you compile this or when you process this one, it's a text only, nothing else. But we can change this text to date using the str to time function, str to date function. There's some of the examples that tomorrow, next Saturday, musbat or plus 3 months, musbat plus 3 months. They are the dates that you can see how it works. You can use this one and so change the human readable texts into date functions. You can do this here. If you execute now, for tomorrow we have 10:22. For next Saturday is 10:26. And plus 3 months, we have 2025 121. You can use these formats. You can use these texts to dates. You can change this. You can find the -9 months or last year. Last year, today. Last year from today. Which day is last year from today? You can set this. So these are all the. So you can also have some dates. You can find the differences while start date and date MD start date and something else that you can do some date differences. So as a homework, you should create a PHP application that counts your age, how many days you are, how many months you are, how many seconds you are, and how many weeks you have passed from the day you were born up to now using this systems. Any questions up to now? Nothing. So for Thursday, you're their presentation day. If you brought, you will get your points. If not, you will miss the points. And also the people who didn't brought their assignments, then this Saturday, Thursday is the last day. This Thursday is the last day, especially Mr. Yasin and Mr. Safi, and also anyone else that have missed the assignments or missed the quizzes also. Anyone have missed quizzes? You should be prepared for this time.